Welcome and thank you for subscribing to this YouTube channel. Momentarily, I will take you to a live podcast interview with Savia Rocks from United Kingdom in London. And she will ask a variety of questions. This is not prepared interview. This is spontaneous entrepreneurship podcast that she has arranged, and we will be answering some questions that she asked. So I'm really excited to share this with you. You may get a pen and paper, write down some answers, write down some quotes, write down some information that may come in handy with for you. But I understand that entrepreneurship is a projection of your confidence, and your responses are your responsibility. The biggest motivation in life is your purpose, your why. Why do I do this? Why do I get on a podcast in England, UK? The reasons you will find out in this interview. We may also talk about AI. AI is not the use of chat GPT. You're not using AI as a Google search or any search engine. Your AI is as good as you are. Also, we will talk about how intentionally using your energy to better your life, because your energy projects your life into the future. And if you don't know how to direct it, there's ways that you can do this. You can learn it. So I recommend taking some pen and paper, listening to this entire interview, and finding out if there's opportunities where you can improve your life. New model of success is peace of mind. When you have peace of mind, people from across the world reach you and want to interview you, be on the podcast, to be on the YouTube channel, and to do the things that you've never done before. But it all started with gratitude. I've always been grateful. I've always been grateful for the hardships as well as the opportunities that have come my way. In the darkest moment, if you hang on to the hope of gratitude, your life will change drastically. Keep reaching out to the unknown. Be the first in something. I'm the first to be podcast interviewed in my family. I'm the first to have written a book in English that has become a bestseller. I am the first to have started a camel brand. I am the first to step into the fintech and use of AI, how to make lives better. With that in mind, please stay with me as I join Savia Rocks of United Kingdom in England, in London, to discuss all of these topics and much more. I guarantee this hour is going to be one of the best educational courses that you've ever taken. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and join me on this incredible podcast as I go live with Savia Rocks from England. So let's join the podcast. Here we are again. Entrepreneurs are always on time and early. So I'm here to sit down with Savia Rocks and talk with her about entrepreneurship. I will close down my camera and return to the studio to show you that this is possible. If I can do it, you can do it. Success leaves clues. And a lot of those clues are written in this book, from goal setting to visualization to going back to the history of where you came from and why you are here. So let's join Savia as we go forward. If you are here with me and you're joining this podcast, I guarantee this is going to be one of the greatest lessons that you've ever heard, or one of the best podcasts that you've ever heard. I am prepared for this, and I'm waiting right now for my host to arrive. Again, some of the success clues that I will give you in this advanced introduction is to always be on time. That shows professionalism. Always, every meeting, be on time, have pen and paper, a booklet and pen in hand. You may learn something today in your life. Hello, hello, good morning, Savia. How are you, my dear? I am unable to hear you, but maybe there we go. Now I can hear you. Very, very ready. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it. My pleasure. I hope to enlighten, to be able to participate, and to contribute to your wonderful podcast. Yeah, for the last few months, I've been living in a suitcase as business requires sometimes, but I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to travel and to be able to connect with other entrepreneurs around the world. Yes. I am prepared. You feel free to ask anything. Again, is to be able to share with love and share with open heart and hopefully to enlighten others who may be looking for a way out. That is correct. Those are the two passions and two businesses I'm directly involved in. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be on your podcast. And yes, I'm very excited to share some information, perhaps could give someone a clue to better their lives. Oh, thank you for the question. It's a deep one. I was born in what's known as Iran right now, in the Kurdistan region of Iran, which in London has a very large population. I went through the Iran-Iraq war where I was injured at the age of 10. I was the first in my family also to be able to pass the examinations to be a doctor, hence talking about health and wellness. But because of my ethnicity, I wasn't allowed in Iran. So I decided to leave the country at the age of 18 through tearful, basically goodbyes with my family, with a backpack, just like I'm right now, through a lot of countries, eventually made Canada the choice to raise my own family. I'm a proud Canadian. Thank you so much again. My family history is very deep in the Middle East. I have been blessed to have a lot of mentors in my life, starting with my late father who passed away during COVID-19. But he left three messages in a letter that was tucked under his pillow the night that he died. We opened up this at the time I was there, and he said, "Son," and I'm the youngest son of 10 people, 10 siblings. So this was his three things. One, take care of your mother as long as she's alive. That's your duty as a human being to take care of your mother. Number two, to find a way to serve the people of this world, this planet. And number three was to make sure that you don't leave your children behind. I have two beautiful children in Canada, and to make sure that they're guided, that they're enlightened. Yes, Savia, there's been so many dark moments in my life. 5 years as a refugee in Turkey, in Germany, in Sweden, and so many in Iraq, eventually ending up in Canada where I built a home and raised a family. Absolutely. As I graduated, let me go back a little bit in history, Savia. I graduated from an American university in Canada, and I was basically, before I start my career, I sat down with a beautiful lady like yourself, a career advisor, as if you will. She asked me, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I said, "You know what? I have a family overseas and I'm raising one here. I would love to connect with my family globally." And she thought about it for a moment and she said, "One of the best ways to go is to go into business." So I took her advice, graduated from business school. I was a financial advisor in Canada for 10 years, sitting down with families, knee to knee, showing them how to save some money, protect their families. And that became a part of my past. Later on in life, in 2013, my mother had a heart attack. So it awakened the doctor in me, and I had to go back to my home country to visit my mother as the last time. And I have good news for you. She not only survived the heart attack, but she's still alive at the age of 89 because of the discovery of some products and this positive mindset that I projected to her. But it became my business. I left the banking at the time, focused on health and wellness with what we call camel care products that are made of camel fur that are very therapeutic, that help people with arthritis, with all kinds of pains and aches, and amazing, miraculous fiber, if you will. So I continued that until 2025, where one of my students, again, talking about a book that was published in England, The Ministry of Miracles, as we try to create miracles. I was teaching from this book. One of my students came and he says that I have an opportunity you should consider seriously. And I said, "Okay, what is it?" He says, "Well, it's in the fintech industry, financial technology." And I got introduced to what we call right now Aurum Foundation. Aurum Foundation is a basically a fintech company that is just about to go public on January 16 to 19 in Dubai. So I was here in the Middle East, going to the home office, meeting with the executives and finding out the ins and outs. It helps the average person take control of their finances using AI, using robotics, using basically grade A quality of investment services to the average public. In other words, bringing Wall Street to Main Street. And that is why I got really passionate about it. And things have exploded over the last 4 months that I've been with the company. We've built up global teams, not only to educate them about health and wellness, but also to educate them about this unicorn opportunity that's making waves around the world, basically teaching people how to take control of their own finances. In a summary, that's the journey of what I went through the last few years. Absolutely. Again, the fashion industry was flooded with plastic made or plastic byproducts in the 1970s when China started the mass production of all these nylon, if you will, based wearables. And slowly, because of the cost, if you will, because of the cheap prices of production, natural fibers were put aside. And this became the main theme for fashion. When I researched this natural fibers, particularly wools and cashmeres and things like this, I found out that this was the way that our ancestors actually lived for centuries. We never used nylon t-shirts or things like this. They wrapped themselves in natural fibers that healed the body naturally. So recently I was in Saudi Arabia, one of the countries that is right now rising in technology, in all kinds of advances. And we partnered up with a company there to make these products available to the public globally. So we started a factory in Mongolia, of all places, in 2016. And I've spent months there, studied the natural fibers. Camel fur is one of the wonders of this world in natural healing, in without taking pills controlling your pains. And we turned this into a fashion brand that now is on the rise globally. And I'm very, very proud of the work that we have done. Like you said in your comments, there is a possibility to be the person that you exactly want to be, yet it comes with a lot of pain, it comes with a lot of hard work. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I'm so proud of the work that we put, that our team put in it, and now it's just running on automation because the AI has changed the world, and we're using these technologies to be able to bring this message to the masses. And I'm so grateful for having this conversation with you, because many people who had no clue will be enlightened of the power of healing with natural fibers. That is my main passion. Wonderful. Absolutely. Again, I have many of samples of them around me, but let me just explain in natural fibers you asked. One of the oldest natural fibers is sheep lamb, sheep wool, if you will, sheep wool. When I was a child, my grandmother used to knit these socks with hand, and we wore them, and we used to go in the snow and play, and basically play snowballs and go sliding and all of this. Next, next of these natural fibers is camel fur, which is the king of all natural fibers because of the temperature that it grows in. Why? The desert temperatures could be about 50 degrees and it could sharply go down to 5 degrees, if you will. And this fluctuation makes it curly and hollow. So this hollowness is breathable, and this curliness micro massages the body where it helps natural healing. It's a thermoregulating fiber where it brings body temperatures to 37 degrees Celsius, which is the natural body function. So it does work in miracles. Another fiber I wanted to talk to you about is a bamboo that's also in the rise globally right now. Bamboo is one of the wonderful fibers that I've used personally, and we have plans to include that in our business in places where it is received with a lot of gratitude because it's very durable, just like camel fur and just like sheep wool that has been used for thousands of years. This is a new technology. Again, I love technology, AI, and how it's changing the world for the better. Initially, the internet and all of this information based on mass production misled people to the places that we didn't want to go, wearing nylon based products, wearing basically or eating foods that are not good for our body. But now, thanks to people like yourself, people are waking up. These podcasts are amazing to bring awareness to the public. Yes, as I mentioned, I've been living in suitcase. Very profound question. The only thing, Savia, that we can actually take with us is our disciplines. I have been blessed to take my disciplines with me around the world. For example, one of the things that I do early morning, besides some meditation, some prayer, some gratitude that I have on daily basis, that's the first thing after waking up, having some water, I go for a run. I am the street runner. I have run so far in 54 major cities around the world early mornings. You know, where I come from, they say that God, Allah, whatever you believe in, whatever is believed in, sends down angels down to earth early morning to receive our prayers. So after my prayer, I go for a run. Then I come back, whether it's an office, whether it's a hotel room, get on the internet. Again, the technology, I cannot emphasize, has changed the world. You and I would not be able to converse if it wasn't for the power of technology. And thank God to developing teams. Right now, we have teams of people in place in Mongolia, in Saudi, in Canada, in UK, in London that are helping us. So most of my time is really spent with conversing with my team, answering their questions, being able to connect them with the right resources, and also guiding them through living a purposeful life. That is my really bigger passion. Again, asking if this was tough, I have to let you know that people have to decide for themselves to choose their tough. I worked in the corporate world. I work in the corporate world for the first 6, 7 years of my life, like the counselor guidance, education counselor told me, you can work for a corporation, get the experience, and then start your own business. So, yes, it's been absolutely tough, but I choose to go through that toughness for a short period of time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, if your business survives, until it takes roots where you can enjoy the benefits and do the things that you truly love. Because the purpose here is not money. The purpose of a business is to help people. And that is really what's been my passion. Anybody who is passionate about people should start a business. Yes, it's tough, but thank God there are mentors, there are coaches, there's people like yourself who bring information to us, who guide us and who help us get into the next level. Again, one of the biggest influences, as I said, was my father, who was a tribal leader, tribal head in Kurdistan. And he took me with him to all of these meetings. And there was a system in this place. And I learned to speak last because he always asked everybody's opinion, listen to them carefully. And I learned the power of communication was really in listening, not in talking. So, in listening with intention to find out what the person's talking about, again, communication became a tool that I've used to pass through government regulations, to business meetings, to sales and marketing, to fintech. Again, communication could be a key once we learn how to communicate in a business language, if you will. And really, the business language I talk about is the business of language of love. If you love people, you will get good at what you say because it has a different tone to it. People can tune in to the energy and they find out that you have a purpose or you're just trying to make a sale. Success to me comes down to service, like the words of my father, find a way to serve the many. Success, in definition, is doing what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, and having no basically restrictions about money, about the way you communicate. So, success is a full circle of all of these areas of life that need to enhance together. To people like yourself, I am a very big fan of podcasts. I listen consistently to mentors, to coaches to help my communication improve. And success has a language. Success leaves clues. Success does leave clues. And if we tune into it, we learn from the people who have come before us, we can also follow their footsteps. I really appreciate it. Again, some of the people that have helped me has been the mentors that have taught me that failure is never final, neither is success. If you've had a heartache, if you've had some challenges in your life, understand that that's not the end. It may be a redirection, and a person like me should be, and everyone should be, open to divine intervention. What I call divine intervention is sometimes we want things to go on our schedule, to go in our direction, and God will direct you another way. So listen, that was heading to an abyss, that was heading to a danger. I am redirecting you. And because of lack of understanding or lack of gratitude, if you will, we persist in going the wrong direction until we're guided into going into the right direction. And that is really where all of the advice that I can give regarding success and failure, nothing is final. It's just a lesson or a redirection. That's a very good question. The question would be, what are you first at? What did you do first? Because we're always reinventing ourselves. You may be the first one in your family to start a podcast. So if somebody had asked me, what are you first at? What were you first at? I have a list of things that I can tell that I was the first in doing this, doing that, doing this. Why? Because I always worked on me. I never compared myself to another human being, neither their successes nor their failures. I tried to focus on improving me. So, what I was the first at, I was the first at looking at me to say, you are an image of God and you need to improve you. So, I kept on working on me and working on me, and until the great doors opened up, that I'm so grateful to be here now with you. I can tell you that I'm blessed to have passed that judgment point, because the only authority that has the power to judge us is the creator, is the person who created you and I, gave us life. I am blessed again to be the first Kurdish person who have gone through all of these things and invented these, but I'm also the very first one to have mixed race children. Again, it was a yes, it was a passing that judgment point that I didn't even care if my family liked, if I was basically married to a darker skinned person or from a different race or from a different religion or from a different country. To me, the only judgment comes from our creator, and he has no judgments by mankind, because we were all created equally in his image. Thank you so much. Well, I am blessed to feel at peace every single morning. Why? I have a gratitude journal. I write down all of the things that I'm grateful for on daily basis. I write down what is the blessing in my life. And if I go through this list, I can tell you that every single day I write them and rewrite. And that's how you open up the gate to miracles. Even in tough days, I wrote down, thank you for this tough day. Today I learned A, B, C, D. I learned from failures. I learned from heartbreaks. I learned from mistakes. I learned from judgments. Legacy, as you mentioned, may be defined as what we leave behind. And if I go back in history, the really person that I admire for legacy is Jalaluddin Rumi, the most read poet in America. Rumi lived in 752 years ago, and my latest book is Rumi 360. Jalaluddin Rumi's wisdom for 21st century. What he says in this context is that you are the walking, talking legacy every single day. The way you treat a person, the way you treat a garbage man, if you will, and the way you treat a president should not differ in your legacy. When you walk in the steps of legacy, human beings become angels. Everybody has a special sign here. Make me feel special. If you just do that, if anyone just does that, I believe they walk in legacy. They're building their own legacy. Again, the future, let me go back to Eleanor Roosevelt, who said, yesterday is mystery. Today, tomorrow is mystery. Today is a gift. Today is a present. So the future, as I see it, is accumulation of all of the hard work that I personally and my team put into our businesses, pouring our heart out to people to build them up. Building people will be a legacy that I like to leave behind because that will make sure that the future generations live better than the current generations. And that is really going back to my father's three basically words of taking care of your mother, the seniors, our parents give us life, finding a way to also serve the many people. And the third one was to make sure that your children are enlightened, they're aware, they know who they are and their capacity. So that's really my passion going forward, and I'm hoping to fulfill that last wish. There's so many songs. Music plays a big role in my life. I, by culturally, have grown up with the Kurdish music, which was cultural, but then I got to learn English and the Western there's so many songs that I can even think about a favorite, but any song that inspires someone to take action, any song, the theme song of my life would be to rise really from ashes, because there are so many people who are sitting down on their phone in their hand, going through social media, instead of putting their favorite music on and going for a fast walk. That doesn't cost nothing. That doesn't cost you anything. It will give you your body health, it'll give your mind calmness, and you will be inspired. I love to listen to inspirational songs. There's so many of them. Avicii of Sweden was one of my first basically favorite artists that I listened to, that also passed away, but he's got so many inspirational songs. I listen to him daily. There's so many great singers from around the world. Tracy Chapman, there's so many of them. I can't pinpoint a song right now, but there are many inspirational people that have impacted my way of thinking, and I listen to music daily just to give myself that little extra push when the times are dark. Music can save you. Oh, president is very clear. I would take Abraham Lincoln. He's one of my favorite presidents of America that changed the world, the way that people thought about each other, and he paid a price. And if I was to take a book with me, it would be probably a spiritual book. Depends on the religion. They Christianity is the Bible. If for Muslim, it's the Quran. I like to read and find out what's inside of this. And if it was possible, I would love to have a pen and paper with me on that island. My late brother, who also was a poet, he told me always carry a book in hand, one to read and one to write. One to read and one to write. So I always carry a booklet with me, one to read, one to write. Thank you. I really appreciate this question. Again, I have a very active social media life, just under Arif Gilany on all social media, Arifgilany. As you know, I also have a YouTube channel called Camel and Cash. Reason for that: Camel for health and wellness as the glory of Camel product, cash for fintech, because there's opportunities right now that many people who take action this year will be able to make millions of dollars, totally change their lives. And it's Camel and Cash with Arif Gilani on YouTube. Those are the places that I can be found, and I'll be happy to connect with anyone who's looking for a way out of the maze, if you will, the 9 to 5, if you will, the brainwash, if you will, because freedom is worth it. You are very welcome, and thank you for the work you do. Let me thank you also because you taking this step to starting this podcast. I followed your story over the last few years. You have grown beautifully, I can see, and I would like to have a copy of this to send it to my media, also to share it with our network to make sure that more people hear about Savia Rocks out of United Kingdom, London. You are to hear your voice, to hear your podcast, because I see what a great and wonderful job you do. Thank you so much for having me. Bless you. And if that wasn't wonderful, you tell me what is. Totally blessed to have been on Savia Rocks. Make sure you share this with friends and family. I think she brought out some information, some questions that I've never heard. I'm blessed to have this opportunity to share this with you. If you want to know more about Camel and Cash, FinTech, and Orem Foundation, or Camel Care product brands, make sure you reach out. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.